One final round, two shattered nerves, and a desperate race to the promotion square where only one king survives. White advances the pawn to d4. Black pushes the pawn to d5. White pushes the pawn to c4. Black advances the pawn to e6. White moves the knight to c3. Black brings the knight to f6. White's pawn takes on d5. Black's pawn takes on d5. White slides the knight to f3. Black pushes the pawn to c6. White slides the bishop to f4. Black slides the bishop to f5. White advances the pawn to e3. Black pushes the pawn to h6. White swings the bishop out to d3. Black's bishop snatches the bishop on d3. White captures on d3. Black plays knight to d7. White castles kingside, tucking the king away. Black plays bishop to e7. White pushes the pawn to h3. Black castles kingside, tucking the king away. White brings the knight to d2. Black swings the rook out to e8. White swings the rook out to b1. Black pushes the pawn to a5. White swings the knight out to a4. Black brings the knight to b6. White's knight scoops up the knight on b6. Black's queen scoops up the knight on b6. White slides the rook to c1. Black swings the queen out to a6. White develops the queen to c2. Black brings the bishop to f8. White develops the bishop to e5. Black swings the knight out to d7. White moves the knight to f3. Black pushes the pawn to a4. White repositions, queen to f5. Black repositions, rook to e6. White pushes the pawn to b4. Black slides the queen to b5. White plays a3. Black moves the rook to e8. White plays h4. Black brings the knight to b6. White brings the bishop to g3. Black repositions, knight to c4. White moves the knight to e5. Black captures on e5. White captures on e5. Black plays g6. White plays queen to c2. Black plays h5. White repositions, queen to d1. Black moves the queen to a6. White swings the rook out to c3. Black plays b5. White repositions, rook to c1. Black plays queen to b7. White slides the queen to c2. Black develops the rook to c8. White advances the pawn to e4. Black plays queen to d7. White develops the queen to d3. Black captures on e4. White takes the pawn on e4. Black moves the bishop to h6. White repositions, rook to c2. Black slides the bishop to g7. Now it gets serious. White swings the queen out to f4. That's a huge blunder. And here's the turning point, black takes the bishop on e5. A costly mistake. White captures on e5. Black plays queen to d1, and it's check. Now it gets serious. White brings the king to h2. Black moves the queen to d5. White plays rook to c5. Black repositions, queen to d7. White brings the queen to e4. But now watch this, black repositions, queen to e7. That's a huge blunder. White grabs the piece on b5. But wait, black's pawn snatches the rook on b5. Suddenly, white grabs the piece on c8, check. Black moves the king to g7. White brings the rook to c5. Black slides the queen to d7. But wait, white moves the queen to d5. But wait, black slides the queen to e7. But that's a blunder. White swings the queen out to d4. Black slides the queen to e8. And this is the moment, white brings the queen to d5. Black slides the queen to e7. White pushes the pawn to g3. Black brings the queen to a7. White develops the king to g2. Black develops the rook to b6. White moves the queen to f3. Black slides the queen to d7. White slides the queen to e4. Black swings the queen out to e8. White brings the queen to d5. Black slides the queen to b8. White moves the queen to d4. Black repositions, king to g8. White repositions, rook to d5. Black repositions, queen to b7. White plays king to h2. Black brings the rook to e6. White repositions, rook to d8, check. Black repositions, king to g7. White moves the rook to d5. Black develops the queen to c6. White moves the queen to c5. Black plays queen to b7. White's queen takes on b5. Black swings the rook out to b6. White slides the queen to d3. And here's the turning point, black moves the rook to c6. A costly mistake. Then, out of nowhere, white develops the queen to d4. A costly mistake. Black develops the rook to e6. White pushes the pawn to b5. Black moves the queen to c8. White's queen takes on a4. Black brings the queen to c3. White slides the queen to d4. Black takes the pawn on a3. Suddenly, white swings the rook out to d6. Black slides the queen to b3. White advances the pawn to b6. And this is the moment, black develops the king to h7. That's a huge blunder. And here's the turning point, white grabs the piece on e6. But that's a blunder. Then, out of nowhere, black takes the rook on e6. Now it gets serious, white plays queen to d7, check. That's a brilliant move. But wait, black brings the king to h6. But that's a blunder. But wait, white repositions, queen to d8. An absolutely brilliant sacrifice. But now watch this, black swings the king out to h7. And this is the moment, white develops the queen to c7, with check. And this is the moment, black develops the king to h6. An absolutely brilliant sacrifice. Now it gets serious, white swings the queen out to b8. But that's a blunder. But wait, black slides the king to h7. But that's a blunder. Now it gets serious, white slides the queen to a7, and it's check. Now it gets serious, black moves the king to h6. Suddenly, white advances.